see with IAM role. Okay, now you can go over here and then refresh it. Okay, now one more thing which I would like to show you. That's okay. Okay, both of them is running in 1C. Okay. Mm, okay, completely fine. Okay, so let's go with this one, and we can just click over choose this one, and write port number 8080. I believe on port number 8080 our application is accessible. App.py, yeah, port number 8080, where I can access my application. Oh, I think there's a problem with our security group. Yesterday only we learned about the security group. What it does, it uh, controls, okay, uh, that what traffic can go inside the EC2 and what traffic goes outside the EC2. Okay, so it handles those stuff. So we have to look over here what are the inbound rules are present, and as I can see, port 22 and port 80 is available. So we have to write custom one, and over here we're just going to go with 8080 and anywhere and save the rules. Okay, now you can check over here, port number 8080 is allowed. So now you can see we are able to access our application. Okay, hello everyone, this application is served from this is your private IP address basically. Now you can check for other one as well. So this is the IP address, just copy them and use port 8080 and see. So this is for uh, EC2 instance one, second instance, and this is the first instance. Okay, so you can see the IP address is pretty different. 172.31.86.40 and 172.31.95.117. Okay, so you can see two instances are up and running. Now one more thing which we're going to do over here is like if we write upload over here, okay, it's just going to open the page from where you can upload to S3. Okay, now over here let me check one thing out, like which bucket I have used over here. So let me just check out the upload.py file and let's check like whether that S3 bucket is located or not. Okay, so this is a bucket which I have used, so you have to verify. So for this, how what you can do, you can just go to the S3 management console, search for that name, like my TF test bucket is already there. Let me just do one thing over here. Let me just delete few things which I can see over here. Okay, delete them out. Yes, permanent delete. So I have deleted them just to make it empty. Okay, so this bucket contains nothing. Okay, now what we have to do, we have to use our application which is running inside EC2 instances to upload some file to S3. Okay, and you can see the code, it's pretty easy. Okay, and I have shown you from where I have taken this piece of code. You can just simply write boto 3 and uploading S3 files here, exception handling being used, but I just directly taken this snap like boto 3 client and then client.upload file. That's it. You can see client and then upload file and then simply printing them, and that's it. So this is how I did that. Okay, now what else I was gonna do, um, we have verify the bucket name, and yes, everything's going perfectly fine. So we have to just choose the file and upload. So let me just create one simple file over here. um, Let me just write test.txt, something like that. Okay, and let's choose this location. Let me just choose this location and then go over here, choose file, and then test.txt. So this is the file which I have selected, and then I'm gonna click on submit, and this will gonna throw me an error. And you know the reason behind, because every API call, whatever you will gonna make it, it should be authenticated. Okay, and this is without authentication. That's why we got some error. It says Bluetooth core exception, no credentials error. Enable to locate the credentials. This is what we got the error. So now we have to fix this. And how we can fix this? With our IAM role. So this is name of our IAM role, and we have to go over there and uh, choose the IAM role over there. So for example, let's just go over here first, and then click on action, then click on the security, click on modify IAM, and go over here, paste that value, and then update IAM role. We have to repeat the same process for other instance as well. Go over here, security, modify IAM role, input that value, and update the IAM role. This is how we did. Okay, super easy. If you want to try side by side over there, you can also do that. Let me just provide some URLs which I have taken from there. Okay, I have given that URL which you can consider. Okay, and other than that, what else I can show you? This, I think you're already having this particular GitHub repository URL, but still I'm sharing with you. Just have a look over there. Okay, now we have modified the instances with require IAM role. In order to verify that whether it's get reflected or not, you can just go over here under the security tab, and you can see IAM role is coming over there. Okay, if you go and click over here, you can see this is my app freelancer role which we have created yesterday, and you can see the permission which we want to have. Okay, you can also limit. Okay, over here I'm just using with AWS full access. You can also limit over there, like S3 with only performs the right thing, only uploading that bucket, the object to the S3 bucket, not more than it, not less than it. So you can also choose the actions accordingly. But over here, just keeping it general, simple, just going with full access. Okay. Now, other than that, this is for my app. Okay. First of all, I have to do one thing for sure because it's just making me confused. I hope it will going to make you confused as well. So A and B. Okay, now let me just check it for this one as well. Security over here also, that thing is there. Okay, now what we need to do, we need to again type in upload. Okay, and upload file and text.txt, and then submit. So that error which were coming previously is not coming anymore. If you go to the bucket, you're going to refresh, because right now you can see there is no object is available because it's not refreshed. So you can just go over here and refresh, and you can see there's one file got uploaded over here. And how did it happen? Through our application. So let me just show you that PPT once again. So this is us. We have requested web app which is running inside the EC2 instances at port number 8080. We have set up the security group for that purpose. We have created security group rule so that we can access our application running at port 8080. After that, we have tried to upload the file through S3 bucket without IAM role, and we got the error. And then we have attached IAM role with the EC2 instances where our application was running. And as soon as we did that, we are able to upload our file over there. Okay, let us upload another file. Okay, let us upload another file, or let us upload over here through another instance. Okay, this is instance 1, this is instance 2, so let's do it from here as well. So let's change the name of the file, or let's create another file with a name abcd.txt, something like that. And we'll go and select the file abcd.txt and then submit. Here also it's working perfectly fine. If you go over here, refresh, now you got two files over there which got uploaded from through our application. Okay, so this is how you can build the application. Like for example, uh, you build some Snapchat like application where your end user will going to upload the file, and that file goes to the S3, and then you can integrate uh, your service with some AI services, add some filters, and then saving that process image somewhere in S3 bucket only or another S3 bucket, and then uh, sharing the photo, the image to your end user. Okay, so this can be done, and I've just shown you that how it is possible. Okay, so it's super easy. Okay, just understand always, which I have talked about yesterday only, fundamentals are important. Okay, always look after the why part, and once why part is clear, then doing it is not that much difficult. Okay, just through practice you're going to know each and everything, and never get afraid like if you're going to get some error. a- an error is always a chance to learn something. Okay, so this is how you can work with. Okay, we have created the EC2 instances, we use the user data to run the everything over here. Also you can go over here like um, instance setting, and then you can go edit user data. Over here you can see this is the user data which I'm talking about. We have run this user data. Okay, and we have not created the shell script separately inside the EC2 instances. What we did when we were creating the EC2 instances, there's a one block comes in which is user data, and we simply pasted our shell script over there and it got ran. Okay, so whenever your EC2 instances is up and running, once it is fully ready, it will just gonna you know run this particular shell script. Okay, so this is how the thing will gonna look like. Super busy. Okay, so once you know uh, your institute instance is up and running, just going to look for the user data. It will be the first thing which EC2 will gonna do, and whatever things you have mentioned, it's just going to do all those stuff. The cell script is just consist of different commands. Okay, in sequence it will gonna run them. Okay, so just going to do that automation. Okay, that is why we use cell script over there. Okay, and this is what we did. Super easy. Now we have already seen this thing like how we can create the EC2 instances and run our application and then upload the file from there. Let's add some more thing. Okay, so what we're gonna do, let's go over here the load balancer thing. Okay, in order to create the load balancer we need something which is known as target groups. Okay, so let's create the target groups and then create the load balancer. Okay, let's add this thing, although this is not part of today's session, but let's add some more thing. I'm not going to go with the auto scaling thing. It is also easy to set up, but over here I'm going with the load balancer. Okay, so over here let's go to the target groups, click create target groups. Over here you got some basic configurations like how you want to decide the target groups. So your load balancer routes requests to the targets and target groups and perform health checks on the targets. So if you see the image which I have shared yesterday to this introduction to cloud computing in AWS, and over there you can see this one. uh, this one, no, this is for auto scaling, this is for application load balancer. Okay, so this is a blue target group and this is a green target group. So what happens over here is like whatever condition you have set. Okay, it totally depends upon that condition. Okay, so the users will going to go through your load balancer URL, and whatever condition it will gonna met, like whatever page you are looking, whatever thing you're doing. Okay, it's totally depend upon that. So as soon as your user hit your application load balancer URL, it's just going to share that traffic to whatever group you decided. And inside the target group you have multiple instances, you're just going to distribute it equally. Okay, so this is how the things are going to look like. In our case, in this example, we just go with only one target group. Okay, where we're going to put two instances over there. Okay, and see how the things are going to look like. Okay, how the application load balancer will going to work in. So you got a bunch of option like how you want to decide that target group on the basis of instances, IP addresses, lambda function, application load balancer. So I will go with the instances because we already having instances up and running. You can just give a simple name like that, my TG. Okay, what protocol you want to follow, HTTP, and you know that your application works on port 8080, so I'm going with that. IP version 4, yes, and then yeah, let's just keep this setting default. On this page it will going to hit. See, health check is very much important. Okay, health check is pretty important because if your instance is not working the right way, some issue happen, then why the traffic goes to that compromised EC2 instances? It will not gonna do that, okay? Because EC2 this elastic load balancer will going to mark it as unhealthy. Okay, so this is something which is pretty important to know about. So over here, health check. So here, this is the path which it will gonna hit. So this is the path which it will gonna hit. You can see this is the slash which we write. Okay, the root path. So over here, you can add some advanced health check settings like uh, health threshold, like at what the number of consecutive health checks, like you want to set 5 times or 10 times or 2 times, whatever you want to consider. Unhealthy threshold is like 2. If you got 2 consecutive health check failure, just going to mark it as unhealthy. So let's increase this thing to 5, for example. Okay, and then timeout. So the amount of time in seconds during with no response means a failed health check. So you can just give 5 seconds. 5 seconds is good. Okay, and the appropriate amount of time between health checks of individual target. So the time gap which you want in between. So I believe 30 seconds is also good. The success code, you know the success code 200, which means okay, which means everything going perfectly fine. If you just write what is HTTP 200 good, it says okay, okay, that web server has successfully received and processed your request. So this is something which we want. So 200, okay. And tags, if you want to, you can add them. It helps to manage your AWS resources easily. Okay, so click next over here and register the targets. So I'm just registering them, port number 8080, and then create the target group. Once it is done, you can see your target group is ready, and it says 2 total targets. Right now it is doing the health check, so it's not showing neither healthy nor unhealthy. So we have to wait for a moment. Okay, and once it is done, you will gonna check them. Okay, so we have just created a target group. Now we have to create the load balancer as well. So click on create load balancer. You got multiple types of load balancer. The one which these two are pretty used, the application load balancer and the network load balancer most of the time. And gateway load balancer is also being used whenever you want to integrate with any third party applications. So we use GLB over there, but over here we're going with the application load balancer because our requirement type is HTTP. Okay, the traffic which we are sending to our EC2, the application is HTTP type. So we're gonna choose this one, and then you can just give any name. So my LB, my TG, my LB. Okay, so you can have a load balancer internal type, you can have a load balancer internet facing. So I'm going with this internet facing style because we want our end user can access our instances through the load balancer. So I'm just making internet facing over here. IP version 4. I'm not using any version 6 thing, so we'll go with this option. The it is running in default VPC, so there's nothing to change over here. Availability zone, you can just choose at least 3 to make sure it is highly available. The security group, uh, something which we have created my app security group AWS session. This is the one which we have created, so we have given that value. And on port number 80, it will going to, so whenever uh, the URL hit and it goes head to this particular port, it will going to redirect for forward to this my target group. Inside this target group, we are having that 2 instances. You can have as many as listener you want to, and also you can add the the conditions if you want to. Okay, so let me just go over here. If you want to add some security features like WAF, it's just going to act as a firewall for your application. Security group works as a firewall for your EC2 instances, but WAF works as a firewall for your application. That's the difference. Okay, and CloudFront is make to for making your application uh, having low latency. Okay, so for performance wise, we go with this Amazon CloudFront thing, but I'm not doing it over here as right now because CloudFront is again uh, is a big topic to discuss. Okay, so This is for WAF, this is for global accelerator. These are some additional things which you can set up. And then I can just go over here, click on create load balancer. We have to wait for a few moments, and once it is done, it's provisioning right now. Once it is done, you're going to get the, yeah, this is the URL which you got. Okay, the load balancer URL, and you're going to hit that, and it will going to distribute your traffic to whatever instances you have registered. Let me show you that image once again, that how things will gonna look like. So over here, this is the traffic coming in inside the VPC, the application load balancer, and then distribute the traffic. Right now we have two instances, so you can just ignore this part. So the traffic goes sometimes over here, the traffic goes sometimes over here. This is how application load balancer will gonna work. Okay, and this is one target group. You can see very clearly only one target group is listed over here, where three instances are mentioned. Okay, in our case one target group is there with two instances. Okay, so our traffic goes either over here, either over here. Okay, not in this because we have only two instances. Okay, so let's wait for a moment, and you're going to see successful status over here. And once it is done, you will be able to access the load balancer thing. Okay, auto scaling group is again very simple thing, but we're going to take some time, so I'm not going to do that. But you can see the this is what we use for. So whenever there's a high traffic comes in, it's going to increase the number of the instances. Okay, so this is what it will gonna do. Let's see. Okay, meanwhile let us do one more thing. Target groups, my target group. So health status initial, so right now they are doing the health check, because you have now configured the load balancer, so you're just going to check each and everything. You can see target registration is in progress. So once it is done, you will going to see the healthy mark, and once it is going to show the healthy instances, then your load balancer will going to be up and running. Okay, this is what it looks like. Okay, so we have to wait a little bit. It is in the initial stage, sometimes take time like 5 minutes or sometime even more, but we have to just wait for a moment, and once it is done, you're going to see, yeah, you can see the health state is showing healthy. Okay, and over here also you can see it's showing healthy. Now if you go to the load balancer, over here it is showing active. Okay, so this is what it is. Now you can use this particular URL, check how it's working. Let's go over here and write port number 8080. So you can see right now over here showing 172.31.86.40. So if you're going to refresh it, it's showing 117. So sometimes traffic goes to instance 1, sometimes go to instance 2. This is how the things are happening. 50-50% chance. Okay, you can also decide the ratio, like 70-30, 60-40, 20-80, 10-90, whatever. You can set that ratio as well, the traffic distribution. Okay, it's super easy to do so. So you can see this is how the things will gonna look like. You can add more rules if you want to. You can just go over here, action, edit rule if you want to. Okay, so over here showing 100%. If you want to add more target group, you can also do that, but it's not required over here right now. But if you want to, you can do so. Okay, now other than that, what else I would like to talk about is the S3. So over here, let me just summarize what are the things which we have learned today overall. So we have seen that how you can deploy an application inside EC2 instance. We have seen this, and then we have attached IAM role so that the EC2 can access S3 bucket to upload. Okay, and then after that, what we did, we have use user data this time to initialize application. Okay, other than that, we have set up the load balancer or the application. Okay, so these are the four things which we have did today. Now let's explore the other part, which is the thing, which is S3 thing. So you can see this is what we have learned and this is what we have explored. So we can take it as assignment. Look after the auto scaling thing. It's pretty easy. Literally, it's pretty easy to implement auto scaling. You can do that by yourself. Now, S3 is bucket setup for static hosting. Okay. So yesterday only we only talk about the bucket policies. Okay. But now we're here. I'm going to give you one more important thing which comes in S3 other than bucket policy is ACL. Okay. Access control list, we call them. So this is the overall scenario for our project. Like this is the traffic which we're going to request, the URL, and where our web app is there, and then gives the response to that user. Okay, so we have to understand the bucket policy and ACL in detail before jumping into this project hands-on. So over here, the purpose you should be knowing about. So yesterday only we have used the bucket policy so that we can access the file. Okay, and it looks like JSON, just like I am policy. Okay, and ACL is not like that. It is something which you apply directly to the resource. Okay, I'm going to show you how you can implement the ACL. So if we talk about granular control, you get going to have granular control in bucket policy based on user IP VPC tags, etc. And ACL gives you a simple permission system. Okay, very much easy to implement. But in general, the best practices, what it says, is like to use bucket policy rather than ACL. Okay, so just remember this thing. But it is very much important to know about both the thing. Okay, what is bucket policy and what is ACL? Now, this is the structure and syntax which you're gonna see. That's JSON based, just like IAM policies, and just a simple permission model, which you can do it through console or through CLI. So, and the difference, okay, what are the difference which you should be aware of? So can you specify any IAM principle in bucket policy or in ACL? So in bucket policy, yes. In ACL, no. You cannot do that. Okay. Only specific AWS account or predefined groups can be done, but this is something which bucket policy gives the leverage. The common use case you can see, it can help you to grant cross account access. It can help you to restrict access by IP or VPC. It can help you to make your object public. This is not good for legacy application basically. And temporary or granular access is possible in bucket policy. In ACL you can see it is limited, the cross account access. You cannot restrict access by IP or VPC in ACL because there's no option available over there. Yes, you can make the object public with the help of ACL. Legacy applications sometimes for temporary or granular access, no, it's not possible. Best practices, always prefer bucket policies most of the time. Okay, avoid using ACL unless absolutely necessary require. Okay, disable ACL by enabling S3 object ownership with bucket on enforce. So I hope you remember or not when we were creating the S3 bucket yesterday in last session. You can see when we were creating the bucket over there one option was coming, object ownership. Okay, and we have made this option enable ACL disabled and bucket owner enforced. This is what I'm talking about. Okay, so this is what is mentioned over here. So disable ACL by enabling S3 object ownership with bucket on enforced. This gives centralized and policy only control. No ACL can be implemented if you're gonna enable this option. Okay, so in order to work with ACL you have to enable it from here. So we're going to do that. Okay, we're going to do that thing as well, but before that we're going to see how you can do the things with bucket policy. Okay, and then through ACL. So this is summary. Complex, yes, of course it is complex because so many things can be done in bucket policy through bucket policy. ACL is low, not that much complex. It's very much flexible. It's not, it has very limited option. So this is recommended. This is not that much recommended. It uses the JSON or it uses the either UI based the through console or through the command line. Public access, yes, controlled way, And yes, simpler but riskier. Okay, so that's the whole story about the bucket policy versus ACL. Now let's do and see how we can implement this thing. Okay, so over here, this is the let's go to that bucket which we have created yesterday. Over here, AWS session 2605, and you should be aware of this name should be globally unique. Okay, now over here, if you go to this properties, over here you can see bucket versioning is enabled, encryption is enabled. Over here you can see static website hosting. Use this bucket to host a website or redirect the request. Okay, so although they recommend to use AWS Amplify, but over here just showing you that how you can go and do the things with the help of S3. Okay, so you can just click on edit and then simply make it enable. Now yes, we want to host a static website. Now you have to give the name of your index file. So the file which we have created yesterday, index.html, let me see that file. Something just another version of hello world. Okay, namaste dunya. Okay, something interesting. Now over here, uh we have to give that name, which is index.html. It is optional, but it is recommended to have the error document as well. Like if something error happens, so they're just going to redirect to this particular page. So I've already created error.html, and you can see it says error message. Simple, straightforward, no bullshit. Okay, so over here, if you go and choose this, just write error.html. If you have some redirection rules require, you can do that for specific content, but we don't have any, so you can just leave this thing apart. Save the changes. Now once you have did this thing, you can see you have successfully enabled static website hosting. Now over here you can see it is now enabled, and this is what you got, the URL. Okay, so you can just go over here and see we got Namaste Dunya Pranjal. And why it happened? Because I think yesterday we have enabled that permission. Yes, that is why it that thing. So through a bucket policy, we are able to access our this web page. Now you can just go over here, edit, and simply remove this policy. You're gonna see that you won't be able to access this bucket policy anymore. Just simply remove, and now you can try. Right now we don't have any policy, which means it is not allowed. So this is what it is. This is what AWS follows. Like when we were creating the IAM policies or bucket policies, if it is not mentioned, like whether this thing is allowed or not, this action is allowed or not, so by default they keep everything private. Okay, you cannot touch them. Okay, so we explicitly define, hey, we want to access this thing, so we write the policies regarding that. So whatever actions you have want to apply or implement, you have to mention in this policies, bucket policies, IAM policies, whatever. Okay, so this is what it is. By default they keep everything private. Okay, so you can see nothing is over here. I can go over here and duplicate. So we got this particular error. Okay, 403 forbidden, access denied, blah 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 blah. So you're going to just do multiple times. You're just going to give in this error. Okay, so what you can do, so we have seen this thing how you can do the things with the help of the bucket policy, which was already set by default because we did that thing yesterday only. So over here now we're going to check after ACL. Okay, so over here inside the permission you can scroll down. So over here object ownership, just go over here and click on edit, and it is enabled, but it was disabled by default, I think. Hmm. Okay, so it was, let me just make it again in this way. Okay, now let me show you how you can, the things will still doesn't make any sense. Okay, That thing was happening through the bucket policy only, not through the ACLs. Okay, so we go over here and click on edit, and then ACL enabled, and I acknowledge bucket on preferred. Save changes. And after doing so, what you have to do after that, you have to go to the object, because it does not make some impact over there. Nothing got changed. कुछ भी नहीं बदला over here. Okay, so now we have to do one thing. We have to go choose that particular resource file, that object, which you want to make it public. This is what you have to do in ACL. Now you can click on action, and then scroll down, and then you got the option to make public using ACL. Now let me show you one time more. If you go to the permission, and if this option is disabled, what happens? Okay, you go to the object, you go over here, click on action. This is disabled. In order to make it enable, the option to make it enable, just go to the permission and object ownership, AC enabled. Yes, I acknowledge. This is not the right way. Save changes. Bucket action, and then make public using ACL. This is what this is how you can enable this option. And then click on over here. The make public action enables public read access in the object access control list. Okay, when public read access is enabled and not blocked by block public access setting, anyone in the world can access the specified object. This is what it says. Now click make public. Once you did that, now you can try accessing this application. You are able to access, and this is how we utilize the ACL. But we got one message when we enable this option. Let me show you that message once again. Go to action, make public, and over here it says when public read access is enabled, not blocked by block public access settings. Now where this settings is there, so you can find their setting over here inside the permissions, block public access bucket settings. You can just go edit. Now if you're going to block all the things, you can just go with this option, but we're not going with this option right now. We have to choose one of them to disable the ACL thing. So it says block public access to bucket and object granted through new ACL only. Okay, block public access to bucket and object granted through any ACL. Okay, block public access to bucket and object granted through new bucket or access point policies, or block public and cross account access to buckets and objects through any public bucket or access. Okay, so these are multiple points out there. So you can just go here, block public access to through new ACL. So what happens over here if you go with this option? Let's see and check the things out. Go over here, click on confirm, save this. Now if you have make this thing enabled, now everything is not blocked. One of the things is enabled. Now if you go over here and try to access the application, you are still able to access it. Why nothing happened? It should be blocked. Why it's not happening? This should be the question which comes here in mind. And there's a reason behind. If you go over there, it says block public access to buckets and the object granted through new ACLs. The ACLs which are already created, they are not prohibited. They are allowed. Okay, so in that conditions, you just have left with one option, which is to remove that particular object from there. You just go over there and then delete. Okay, once it got deleted, okay, now over here you have to check once again that permission. It says it is enabled. Okay, perfect. Now you go over here, upload both the files, upload. Over here action make public using ACL. Okay, let's do this. Sorry, you cannot do that. And why? Because you have blocked. This is what I am trying to say. Okay, so over here, if you go and see what exactly this says, now you can understand this thing very, very, very well. Because so many options comes in, your mind get confused. So just read them slowly and understand what exactly we're gonna do. So it says block public access to bucket and object granted through new ACLs. The one which was already uploaded, you know, so we are able to access them. But now we have removed that particular file and again upload a new one without applied ACLs. So because this option was enabled, so we are not unable to apply ACL anymore. So although ACLs are enabled, but still we cannot apply ACL anymore. It will be only apply for those objects where ACL is already applied. This is what it is all about, this particular option. And if you're going to block public access to bucket and object granted through any ACLs, no matter new or old, any ACLs, it will not going to work for. Okay, so you can just go and enable this option. This is for new one, this is for that one. So you can just edit over here. Uh-oh. And just go with their permission and edit. And this time what you will gonna do, you're just going to make this one uh, public. Okay, you will be able to access it. Okay, and other than that, what I'm gonna do, I just go to the permission and edit this time this one. Okay, but before implementing this, I just want to check whether this thing is happening or not. I'm able to access it. Okay, now I just want to make this enabled. Let's see what will gonna happen. Over here it says if we're going to block public access to buckets and object granted through any ACLs. Okay, you go over here. Just a second, it should be affected. It's revealing all the ACLs that grant public access to the buckets and objects. So it should be, you know, just do one more check. And next to HTML, let's check over here from there also. It's showing block over here. It should be block over here as well. Yeah, block. I don't know why it was coming over there. I thought why it's not working because it should be working. Okay, now what we can understand from here that how you can play with the different options which appears over here. You won't get confused. It's pretty simple to implement them. Now you already know about the bucket policy, so let's get back to the bucket policy thing. Okay, so you can just go over here and disable the ACLs. You don't want ACL anymore, and you just want. Now over here it says this only applicable for the ACLs. Okay, but this lines which you are seeing right now, this is for the bucket policies. Block public access to buckets and object granted through new public bucket. Okay, or any public bucket or access point policy. So this is for bucket policy. So whether you're going to change it or not, it will still work. So you can just go over here and then put that value, see if the changes. That's working. Okay, so although you had disabled the ACLs, but you have make your bucket granted or accessing the resources through bucket policies. So it's just going to help you to uh, access the the resources, the object which is located inside the S3 bucket. It's super easy to do that. Okay, And again, if you are having confusion how to write this thing, it's pretty easy. You can just go over here, policy generator or policy example. You're going to get a lot of options, a lot of examples which you can consider. Okay. Over here you can see there's a bunch of different options coming. Okay. Now in order to simplify this one, I did something interesting for you. You can just go to our GitHub. Okay. And over there I have created two files. One file was pretty old, but last night I have created one more new file which you can consider. Okay. So this is the file which I already had before. Okay. And it consists of, I think, few examples. Okay, like how you can make the read access to bucket. This is what we are using. Okay, using, I'm just giving all points. Grant access to another AWS account, different use cases, restrict access by IP address, you know allow only encrypted uploads only. So these are some different options which I have given over here. Okay, it also have, I think, 6 to 7 or 8 examples, but you can also consider this particular file, which I have created last night. I think it was something. Yeah, this one, S3 bucket policies example. So you can see the raw file. Oh, asking me to download it, which I already do have. So I can just show you from here only S3 bucket policy examples. It consists of, I just taking this whole thing from this particular web page. Okay, simply I have understand them all together and put them all together over here. Okay, so you can just consider this thing. So whatever task it is, like granting permission to multiple account with conditions, to anonymous access, to specific IP address, this is the one which was already there. Then IP version and IP6 are allowed. So these are different conditions how you can give, and it's not that much difficult. Okay, now again you might be thinking how to do so. You can just go over here, go to S3 bucket policy, and write which principals are allowed. Principals are basically the users which are allowed to access the bucket. Okay, and what are the actions you want to have? All actions on specific particular bucket, and from here you can add the conditions. Okay, if this equal to that, whatever is the key you want to set up, and the value, you can add as many as conditions. Okay, and then you can just simply generate the policy. Other than this particular website also helps you to generate the IAM policies as well, which is interesting. You can just choose S3 and whatever permission you want to have, and what particular bucket, and that's it. It's just going to generate one. But the one which I have shown you, it is much easy. Okay, the visual editor which it offers. So I think that is most easiest way to generate the IAM policies. Although you can do with this option also. Let me share you this particular URL which you can consider. Okay, so I'm just putting this URL. You can consider this thing as well. Okay, let me just got uh some comments. Let me just read them for a while. Just stop the share for a moment. Link for yesterday recording session, it is already uploaded on YouTube. YouTube में आपको मिल जाएगा वो, under live section you're gonna have that the video which we have did yesterday, the last session. Topics which we have covered is about the fundamental of cloud computing in AWS, the global infrastructure, and then we start understanding the three important core services of AWS. One is AWS IAM, and one is EC2 and S3. So these three things we have covered. Where did we configure the upload path of S3 bucket in our web app? So it was there inside my upload.py file. Okay, if you see my application code over there, I have used Boto library, and over there only I have mentioned the name. Okay, which bucket I want to use. Okay. Okay. Yes, ELB does the health check. Okay, ELB performs the health check, on whatever EC2 instances you have registered. Now sometimes what happens is like at the time when you create the auto scaling group, okay, over there, whatever load balancer you have created, you can also select that one also, or auto scaling group also helps you to set up the elastic load balancer automatically, and they're just going to register all your EC2 instances automatically to that group. So it will going to happen everything automatically. At the time when you create the auto scaling group, it also asks like which mechanism you want to choose to do the health check. And I always prefer the elastic load balancer health check, which is very much easy to implement, and it works. It does its job fabulously fine. So you can stay rely on that. Yes, CloudFront is a kind of CDN. Yeah, if you open any website, some sort of error comes in. So this is what CloudFront does. The previous session is there on YouTube, okay, in live tab. Okay, and yes, in order to mark your attendance, yesterday I was not knowing about that, but now I know. Okay, so you can just go to the GitHub. Okay, over there some URLs are given. Let me share my screen once again to show you where it is. So over here, if you go to the GitHub, and over here I just given you two different URLs. One for to look after all the different courses where GFG offers you some discounts. As of now, there's a big discount is going on for limited period of time, which you can consider. And from here we can mark your attendance. Okay, this is the URL, and I think you can also find the same URL in YouTube as well, like where the chat panel comes in at the top, just pinned one from where you can get this URL if it is lost. Okay, so this is a way which you can do the things. And other than that, I believe I cover all of the point. Automatic resume session. I think I have covered everything else. Okay, now uh the link. Okay, let me just check once again. Let me just provide that link because I got this URL from there only. Let me just check once again. I believe it consists of complete URL. Oh, it doesn't consist of complete URL. Okay, but basically I've also copied from YouTube only. Let me again show you. Let me do one thing. Stop share for a moment. From you over here from YouTube, you can just go to the GFG, and then over there, just give me a sec. I can share you the code, and it is live right now from where you can get the things. And let me just share you the link, complete link. Sorry, my bad. I thought the link is complete. So this is the link which you can consider. Okay, this is the link which you can consider in order to mark your attendance. Okay, so that's for today. Over here we learn about like how. Now today's topic is very much very much short enough. So if you have any other doubts, you can just let me know about that. But this was a today's topic which we have covered, like the EC2 instances where we run our application on some specific port, and then we have attached IAM role so that we can access the other AWS services like S3. Okay, and then we have talked about how you can set up the static hosting. Okay, over there we have index.html and error.html, and we learn about the bucket policies and ACLs, how you can set up all those stuff. One more thing over here, let me just drill down much more about the S3 bucket policies, so that if something I missed from my end, I can tell you about the story. Over again, I can, where it is. Yeah, over here, this PDF. So this is for read access to bucket. Straightforward, you know it. This is what we used. This is where you can do it with the help of ACL, but it works at object level through command line. This is the way. Grant access to another AWS account. So this is the 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 principal which you can set over here. Principal is all. Okay, asterisk means all. Over here it is specific. Okay, and from where you can get this piece of information, if you go to your over here in account or IAM, from there you can get that piece of information. Okay, you can simply copy the ARN from here, and it's going to be get applied over there. Okay, so this is how it will gonna work. Other than that, what else we are left with? uh, okay, so this is how you can grant access to another AWS account. This is through command line. This is restricted access by IP address. I have shown you that how you can add the conditions. So this is IP address which I don't want to access this particular thing. So sometimes what you can do is like, for if EC2 was previously accessing the S3 bucket to upload the file or to get the files, and some issue happened with the EC2, it got compromised, you don't want that to go further, you just simply add that condition. Allow only encrypted uploads to specific IAM role. Yeah, you can also set the specific IAM role as well. Okay, either you can write IAM role or you can just add IAM user, whatever. And such kind of features is not available in ACL. You can see you choose the file to make it public. Okay, so this is how we did with the help of ACL to make that public. It just give you complete public access. That's why it's not recommended to go with that one. Okay, so this is all about ACLs and bucket policies. Other than that, what else is left? Purchasing option. Yesterday only we talk about the subscription, the Burger Queen. Somebody given that name. I love that a lot. So on demand, it's like you are just a regular customer. You go to that restaurant and order a burger. You have to just pay the standard amount. But if you are the loyal customer, they know it, like you're going to come again and again. So this is just going to give you some discounts through loyalty program they might have. So this is what all about the purchasing option which we learned yesterday. Over here you can get more details about it. Some additional settings which you should be aware of, like domain join directory. If you want any directory to be get joined with the, you know, the active directory to be joined with your EC2 instances, you can go with this option. But in your case it's not required that much. I'm instance profile, this is good, we have seen this option. Host name type, like if it is IP name is selected, then you're going to see IP name. Like you're going to open the your terminal or whatever, you always see the IP name. Over here also, if you see, the application gives the IP name, but if you want the host name to be written, so you can choose accordingly. DNS host name. So this is something which you can look, it's not that much difficult. Shutdown behavior, how you want shutdown to take place. So if you were going to click shutdown, so whether you want it to be stop or terminate, whatever, by default is selected to stop, which means instances will not going to be get shut down. Okay, it's just going to be get, sorry, yeah, the instances will not going to be get terminated, it's just going to be get shut down. Okay, and hibernate, it hibernate how it works. So whatever content which was running will going to be get saved inside the RAM. Okay, and as soon as you're going to run the instances again, it's going to take all those information from the RAM only. So sorry, from the root volume to RAM. Okay, so just how it works in general. The termination protection, if you could enable it, nobody can uh, delete or terminate the EC2 instances accidentally. Stop protection does the same thing. So this is what we have learned. It's not that much difficult. The EC2, we have explored a bunch of options. If you see once again, you can see we have covered almost everything which can be covered in that particular duration. And S3 also we have covered. Okay, now in tomorrow's session we will gonna jump into the best practices to follow with AWS. And yesterday I liked the response come from the student uh, through LinkedIn. So many people have sent me message, and I love it a lot, the feedback they have given. And some few people also posted on LinkedIn. I appreciate them all. And if you have any other question, any other doubt after the session in future, you can just simply post me on LinkedIn. I will be happy to help you out. If you're joined for the first time, then you can, this is my LinkedIn uh, address, which you can use it in order to, you know, ask your doubts over there. So that's all about the thing. And today's session is a little bit short enough because the topic which was chosen is not that much lengthy. Only two things were there, so it got completed. And yesterday topic was a bit big, so that's why it went to 3 hours. And again tomorrow again it will be 3 hours, so you can just take it as a break. Okay, so take care and keep learning, keep exploring, and stay motivated. Okay, and just do practice, because practice makes a man perfect. Okay, don't get afraid with the errors. And these days we have AI also. You can just take the help of AI, just simply take the screenshot and ask them the solution. I also do this the same thing. I'm learning right now Bedrock, AWS Bedrock service, the AI, to use different foundational models. Okay, and I get so many errors. Okay, it's not a bad thing, because when you're learning something you're going to get some errors. This is a good thing. You know how to deal with that in future. You already know the steps. Maintain the SOPs, like how to fix some error comes in which you've already faced in earlier. Okay, it helps a lot in technical interviews as well, in real world scenarios as well. As I said yesterday only, like, troubleshooting skill set is very much essential. Okay, two or three things are very much important which helps you to get the job. One is troubleshoot skill set, one is your communication skill, how fluently you say and how you easily convey your message to the recipient, to your audience. And other than that, negotiation works. Okay, and networking also work. And you utilize LinkedIn as much as possible. Whatever project I got in freelance, mostly through cold emails, cold and DMs which I did through LinkedIn. So LinkedIn is a very great platform. Just try to leverage it. Okay, be active over there and make it uh, change your game level. Okay, so that's all. Take care. Today, a little bit my health is also not good. Good. That's why the thing is like. And we're done with the topic. Tomorrow we're going to come with again, and it will be 3 hour session, and we're going to cover a lot of things. And yesterday only, I've also provided the certification GitHub repo. If you're interested in, you can just go and check out my GitHub repo, from where you can get so many other things as well. Like, you can just go over here and go inside my repository, just simply write AWS SAA, and you're going to get that one. Okay, where I have given all those uh, it's week wise content, but it only mostly covers the solution architect resources. And some other projects are also there related to AWS and all. So just let me know. Okay, I do have some in local. If you want them, I can just simply publish them on GitHub. Okay, that's the thing. Just try to have some basic application with some cloud functionality to, do the practice with different AWS services. Okay, that's all. See you soon tomorrow, and keep learning, keep exploring, stay motivated. Target group you want to explain again? I can do that. Uh, the target group, let me just draw a diagram so that you can understand much more better way. It's not that much difficult thing, but let me just tell you what exactly it will gonna do. Okay, so target group. So let me just draw some diagrams. So over here, so this is, for example, target group. Let me just not write something over here. Let me just, this is EC2 instances. Okay, this is another EC2 instances, or you can have any number of EC2 instances. Okay, now it looks like a face, something, two eyes and one nose. Oh, where it's gone. Okay, so this is a one target group, which I say target group 1. Okay, and then you can have same thing over here, target group 2. Okay, now over here you got a load balancer application, load balancer you can think of, and this will going to redirect the traffic to target group. You can also decide the percentage, like you can just decide 60% over here, and 40 over here. Okay, 60% over here, 40% over here. So whatever traffic comes over here, okay, the traffic, the ALB decide, you know, just because it knows like the weightage 60-40%. So some traffic goes over there, some traffic goes over there. Now where we use basically this target group, where it will be more efficient. Now let's talk about this in little bit detail. Over here, example, like you have a basic application, okay, a very basic application you have it. What it does, a very basic application you have it, what it does, like where the end user will going to upload the image. Okay, end user will going to upload the image. Okay, this end user upload the image over there, and this image, like the interface, it will going to be appear with the help of this particular target group. Okay, this particular target group being used for just opening the landing page. Okay, just this will gonna be used for opening the landing page or the interface. Okay, now what happens over here, like there's something needs to be get processed. Okay, something needs to be get done. So a person uploaded some image, think like as a snapshot, person uploaded some image, and this that application interface is, you know, given by this particular target group. Okay, and once the user given the request to process some image and put some filters on it, it requires to do, you know, apply some filters, some more specifications, some more resources to be utilized. In that case, what you can do, you can transfer that task to this particular target group. Okay, this particular target group, which will gonna perform that part. So for example, this target group uses t2.micro. Okay, the smaller instance type. Okay, and this one we're gonna use t2.large. Okay, so which is done for doing some processing. Okay, so as soon as there's a requirement for process an image something, so you can just simply transfer that traffic to this particular one to do that transfer. Okay, so this is what target group is. Okay, like it is a kind of, let me just ask AI only to give a good analogy. Target group in in AWS ELB with analogy, so we can have some. So imagine a traffic director, it receives incoming traffic and decide which direction it sends based on the rules. Consider a team of worker. Each worker is a specific server or compute resource. As I mentioned, t2.micro, t2.large that can handle a particular task. So t2.large can handle bigger task, t2.micro can handle smaller task. So accordingly you can decide the conditions. If just to open the landing page, that's it, it can be delivered through t2.micro, but some sort of processing is involved, and then in that case you can transfer that load to t2.micro. So this is how you can do the things. Okay, this is what it is meant for. In summary, target groups helps organize the server into groups, allowing the load balancer to efficiently distribute traffic based on the specific need of the application. Okay, if there's a requirement of doing some processing and all, then it can just handle with the target group 1. If there's a requirement or process some image, do something over there, then it's just going to, you know, target the target group 2. Okay, this is what it is all about, the target groups, which is very very much essential in auto load balancing. Because what happens is like ALB is not that intelligent. Okay, it's just going to share the traffic 60/40 or whatever ratio you have set. But if there's any condition comes in, like there's some request which requires something needs to be get processed, okay, and there's a huge task is there, and over here, in this target group t2.large is there, so that request can easily handle over here, not over there. So that can be easily done by the help of target group. This is what it is. Okay. So I hope you got this point how you can work with that. Thank you, Shreyash, for wishing me. Okay. So take care, everyone. See you tomorrow with more energy and more interesting, important thing. Okay. So that's all. Thank you. Thank you, everybody, for joining the session. And thank you, GFG, for giving me the chance for this session. Thank you. Thank you.